Welcome to Bonehead Weekly. We have Adrienne from Scarefest, who is not what?
What kind of iteration was that?
I don't think you're using the word
Bonehead.
iteration well.
Well, whatever that term is, where you go bonehead.
Alliteration? It's
No,
not
yeah,
alliteration.
alliteration.
Yeah.
Whatever, fuck it. Bonehead
I failed geography.
Weekly. Hello, Adrienne from
The scare.
Scarefest.
Why do we always say the Scarefest? Like the Ohio State?
Well, originally it was because there was a Scarefest haunted house, and the Scarefest, just scarefest.com, was taken by the haunted house. So it was the scarefest.com
The
originally.
Scarefest is better. It's better. We always wanted to just be called Bonehead, oddly enough. And that was always the intent. And there's a long story behind that. And it mainly is Chad. But we couldn't because it's just too many boneheads.
That makes sense.
I mean, it was. I mean, I wish we'd already grabbed that one. And so, Adrienne, you've been with the Scarefest for 42 and a half years.
Yeah, it's insane, actually.
You have been for the jump. You guys were doing questions the other day about how long everybody's been doing it. And I don't know, for some odd reason, everybody I think assumes I've been there. I have been to every Scarefest, but I've only been voluntolding for 7 or 8 years. So I just wanted to point that out as far as being on the other side of the crazy.
I mean, it feels like dog years sometimes. So 42 is accurate, but if we're going by standard cat years, it's about 15.
It doesn't feel like dog years to me because I love it, because I don't have to be an adult. So you guys have to do the adult work. And what I mean by adult, I mean not like dirty. I mean, you guys have to be grown-ups. And I just get to show up, be on the stage and walk off and have a drink.
Well, that's perfect.
I know it's the best effing gig ever. It really is. I truly get excited about it. I'm excited about October. I can't wait. But anyway, go ahead.
Tell me, and they're like, "Oh, I would kill for your job," and I'm like, "I don't think you would. I don't think you would at all."
I get that. People say that to me too, and I'll sometimes give them advice, but a lot of times all I want to say is, yeah, it looks easy, but it's like the dog that chases after the car. What you gonna do once you get it?
Right.
What you gonna do when somebody won't talk? What you gonna do when somebody says something bad shit?
What you gonna do when they come for you?
I knew he was gonna do that joke. I just knew it. Bad boys. Bad boys. So we're getting off topic, and I only have you for a little while because you're a very important woman and you have a heart out in about 10, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Even though you said I couldn't last 10 to 20 seconds. I was trying to remember all the questions that we've talked about and listened to the episode before and ask you things that I don't necessarily get to ask you all the time. And I was having a really hard time because I feel like you and I are friends. So that's actually nice. I like being your friend. We talked the other day on the phone.
Yes.
At length about crazy and how both of us have it attracted to us for some reason. So you can't talk about celebrities, and you gave us some really good dirt last time about some different people that we won't mention. So I'm curious, what is the hardest part of your job, do you think? What's the part that just kind of the mundane part of it, the part that because you don't just get to, and as we said before, celebrities are like anybody else. 90% of them are fine and 10% are assholes.
Yeah, sure. That's pretty accurate. My least favorite part, I think, about the job in general is probably any time that I have to tell anyone no about something that they would like to do or that I can't facilitate. And that goes from volunteers, attendees, celebrities, vendors, anybody that, there's sometimes that, my hands are tied and I can't make exceptions for people or make things happen exactly how we would want them to. So definitely telling people no or that I can't help them, I think, is probably the suckiest part about it. So not one specific thing in general, but many things overall, I think, if that's a vague enough answer.
It is kind of vague because last time it's not, but I would kind of understand. You just don't like saying no unless it's me, in which case you say no all the time.
That's where I get my practice in, is with you, so I can tell other people no.
So I'm going to tell a story about you. You are always so sweet to everyone, so kind, and everyone always says, "Oh, she's just wonderful. She's just the most sweetest, outgoing, wonderful person. She'd do anything for you." So we're at a meeting a few months ago, and she just starts going off about how she got kicked off of Facebook. And her excuse for getting kicked off of Facebook was because she threatened to cut someone. Now, Adrienne, who did you threaten to cut?
Joe Lewis.
And then in the middle of the meeting, Chad, she screams, "And if any of you all know that son of a bitch, you know that he deserved it."
Yes, I did. In front of everybody.
100 people. 100 people. I don't know. There's at least a 60 or 80 in that room, right?
You're probably not far off. It was probably that.
Yeah, it was 60 or 80. So any of you all know that son of a bitch. He's back.
You post that shit on Flickr. They know how he is. They'll say, no, you get a pass.
What's Flickr?
I have no idea.
What did you say?
I just know it's a social media platform, and it's funnier than saying Twitter.
But I don't know what Flickr is.
And that's why you're not on it.
Is it the I Hate Joe social media?
Yeah, it's anybody.
Why is it called Flickr?
Adrienne?
I don't even have Instagram.
You don't have Instagram?
I had an Instagram. Like back once upon a time, Facebook made an Instagram for you.
Yeah.
And had it, and the last time I logged on, I hadn't been on in like 8 years. I had like 200 followers. I had one picture on there. And then someone sent me something from Instagram a couple months ago, and I went to open it, and it said I needed to sign into Instagram. So I did my little autofill on my phone for my Instagram login, and my account didn't exist anymore. So
them sons of bitches.
I know. Well, it's not as bad as Nicole's whole Facebook getting deleted, so I guess I can't really complain.
I still don't understand. She tried to tell me, and I don't get it. Nicole Griffith is one of the own. Her and Brandon Griffith own the Scarefest. So I suppose we should talk about the Scarefest a little bit. I just enjoyed hanging out and talking to you. So when is Scarefest? It's October
21st through the 23rd.
21st to the 23rd of 2022 in downtown beautiful Lexington.
Yes.
Yeah. So this year, let's start talking about guests, because basically you're on the show right now to hoe out the Scarefest.
Okay. Well, oh man, the guests. Well, number one.
You do have literally a murderer's row of guests this year.
True. But the number one guest at Scarefest, obviously, is going to be me.
Yeah, I thought you were going to save me for a split second, and then I realized that's not going to happen.
I thought about it, but you're going to be working. So
yeah, I
am. So this year, obviously, we have a pretty stellar lineup of Nightmare on Elm Street, headed up by Robert Englund. And I really don't need to expand on that very much, I don't think.
The thing is with Robert is that someone asked me about him the other day, and I said, actually, I got to talk to him right before, because there was such a cluster a few years ago of all the agents getting everybody on that big ass panel we did. By the way, I don't have the panel schedule yet. And somebody messaged me yesterday going, "Did you get fired? Are they having panels? It's not on the website." And I said, I can't answer any of those questions.
I can't really either, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So
that I know of.
What'd you say?
You have at least one that I know of.
Yeah, I know. We'll talk about Bonehead doing a live show in here in a few minutes. But when I was talking about Robert is great with fans, and Robert is a raconteur. I mean, he will just talk.
Yes, he does.
So much so that line moves at a snail's pace.
It does, and that is something that, in 2017, admittedly, like the only other horror show I had ever been to in my life besides Scarefest up until that point was years ago when Horror Hound Cincinnati was still at the Ramada.
Yeah.
I went there once.
Yeah.
And we did not anticipate the line and the way that works. So back then I was still working my factory job, so I wasn't involved in the year-round planning of the show. And I mean, even if I had been, there wouldn't have been anything that I could have added to the mix that would have prevented anything that happened. But we did some pre-sales last time for like a line skip autograph package that you could get, and the line ended up, how it does it every show. And this year I've been to a show that had Robert, and I've talked to people who went to other shows with him there. So we have a pretty good plan of action in place to try to prevent what happened in 2017 and what happens at most shows from happening at Scarefest this year. And I'm not going to go completely into the details just yet. It will still be on a first come, first serve basis.
Yeah.
We'll be lining people up in groups. And that way, once you get your sign up, you get your group, when you're going to be able to line up, you can go and enjoy the show and then come back and queue once your group is called. So that'll give people an opportunity to check out some of the great entertainment that we've got.
Right.
We have a huge vendor hall this year. Last year, we kind of didn't take advantage of our new facility as much as we could have because of COVID and social distancing and keeping extra big aisles, things of that nature. But this year we have added more vendors to the floor. And so we want people to be able to enjoy the rest of the show and not just stand in line all weekend.
Yeah, I that is so smart, and you guys always do a good job. And you always hear this from me, but it is so smart. And they did the same thing, Horror Helm, the one time they got Jamie Lee a few years ago, was that you bought your autograph and you came back at X time so that you could go do the show. They did the same thing with her, and that worked really well. But now the difference between that and when Horror Helm did Jamie Lee Curtis, you guys, they got basically, it was just a Halloween show in the sense of it was people from the Halloween movies, right? And some directors and some writers and whatnot. You guys, you didn't stop with Robert. Brandon has spent a fortune bringing in damn near everybody.
Yeah.
Is this the biggest cast? Is this the biggest list of celebrities Scarefest has ever had? I was looking over it the other day. It has to be pretty damn close.
It is, and to be honest with you, I've been looking over our list. I don't have a solid count actually.
Yeah, I don't either.
But we're knocking on the door of 60 right now, and I can't guarantee that we're done. We got one or two floating in the ether there. So,
Chad, this is where you go, hey, why don't you give us a Bonehead exclusive? Chad, you still alive, Chad?
Huh? What?
He did not hit you up for the Bonehead exclusive.
Well,
hey, Adrienne, can we have an exclusive?
If
did I do well?
No.
if I had an agreement in hand and we hadn't done an announcement, absolutely would. But there's one thing that I have learned over the years is that one, shows will release people that haven't booked for class. And two, if you try to drop teasers or hints, Brandon's done that a couple times this year for some folks that we were really trying to get, and then it fell through. So again, that goes along with that, tell people no and disappointing people that's don't like to do. So no. Got
it. So John Carpenter is going to be
exactly. But now he is definitely high on the wish list, obviously. So Brandon will always try to get him, and hopefully sometime soon in the future we will. But
he's from Kentucky. So I'm sitting here going through the list.
Okay.
And I mean, not only do you have a huge amount of Friday the 13th as a Nightmare on Elm Street folks, you have a ton of Friday the 13th folks as well.
Yeah. we're doing a big Friday Part 3 reunion.
Yeah.
Urn of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
One Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
We had a really solid a get with those folks getting D Wallace. Now this actually is exclusive because we haven't announced it yet. I just found out today. D Wallace is going to be only appearing on Friday and Saturday because she is got to be filming on Monday. So she's got to fly home on Sunday. And now that's not a great exclusive.
No, it's
Ew.
okay. And I was joking about the exclusive earlier. I'll tell you, Chad and I met D Wallace at Scarefest 4 or 5, somewhere around. Was it right before you got married, Chad?
Yeah, it was this was technically my bachelor party, so it was 2009.
2009. She was at Scarefest, and honestly, she was one of I need to stop saying them. She was one of the sweetest people. Her and Adrienne Barbeau were there that year, and she signed something for us for free, didn't she?
Yeah,
Chad?
so I gave her I brought my Frighteners posters, one of my favorite posters. It's upstairs in my little door hole. And she wrote good luck, happy marriage, D Wallace. And then she said, because we were such fans of hers, and because I was there specifically to celebrate me getting married, she signed a picture of the Howling.
Yeah.
Both
For both of us. I think I have one too.
No, just one. You have the one.
Why didn't you get it?
I don't know.
How did I end up with it?
Again, it falls into the category of I don't know.
Well, you could just ask me for it. I'd give it back to you.
I'm good. I got the Frightener.
You could be,
Frighteners.
I don't know if it's considered copywriting or not, but you could just go and have it copied and then you could both have the same one.
No, it's no.
It's not the same.
Not the same. That's okay. I already use it as an ashtray. It's nothing big for us. It's fine. But no, D Wallace she's so sweet. I know another friend of ours who volunteers for you is so wanting to be her handler because she was so nice to her several years ago when they've done it.
I was gonna say I'd have to look. So with our handlers, because I've been doing the seating on the handlers for the last several years, and it's kind of like Thunderdome with that. Normally, I out people's seat assignments until like the day of the show.
Well, I'll just give a shout out that Marianne's always nice to me.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, Mary. So it always goes seniority, pretty much. Picks first. Marianne's in her 10th year. And I won't say officially, but I'm 99% sure I've got Marianne down exactly where she wanted to be.
Yeah, yeah. Marianne's always nice to me, and she's a big supporter of Bonehead. So
awesome.
and she's great about we're talking about other people, but yeah, the shout out to Marianne. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So we have a huge lineup. We also have Lance Hendrickson, who's also been to Scarefest before. Chad, did you go to that one where we attended his panel and he started making fun of the guy that walked in?
I don't think
like
so.
Megamind. Do you guys remember Megamind? And the guy did. I turned around and I couldn't stop because he did just like Megamind. If anybody remembers this cartoon that Will Ferrell did the voice of like 10 years ago.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And hot off his turn in oh crap, I forgot the name. Robert Patrick. What's the name of the show, Chad?
Peacemaker.
Hot off Peacemaker. You guys.
Sorry, you tripped me up. You were talking about Lance Hendrickson, and then somehow you managed to slide Robert Patrick in there. And
well,
said,
I wanted to make sure that we got some of the people that we hadn't talked about yet.
I thought you were talking about Mom and Dad with Lance Hendrickson. I'm like, that was a few years ago.
No. I mean, Robert Patrick is just off was it not the #1 cable show of all time, Peacemaker?
Well, and Brandon's son was absolutely thrilled. I haven't seen Peacemaker, but
you should watch.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So when we announced Lance, and I was telling somebody this the other day that my mother was so excited when we announced Lance because she loved the Alien movies.
Yeah.
And that's a first. My mom has never been excited for anything having to do with Scarefest other than the fact that it makes me happy. She could be less interested, honestly. And
feeling.
And then Brandon's son, Brandon and Nicole's son, was really excited about Robert Patrick because of Peacemaker. So yeah, there were a few moments for us when we were booking this lineup this year, but I think probably so far that is the #1 feedback that we've gotten. Obviously, people are stoked about Robert Englund, but everybody has been complimenting the lineup. Brandon put a lot of hard work into the lineup this year, and it's been, it's not a challenge isn't the right word, but it's really pushed us in our capabilities of managing and logistics, because of budgeting and the year are astronomically expensive. I don't know if you all caught Brandon's post on Facebook the other day about, whatever they're making airline fuel out of now must be really expensive, because our flights are, on average, they're about 2.5 times more expensive than last year. So like it's been pretty tough, but
it's brutal. By the way, we just got a text from the third Bonehead saying his Zoom is updating. Usually what we get is my computer's updating.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yep.
Yeah, now it's Zoom. I call bullshit. So the other person so I get asked all the time who you're excited for.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. I understand the question. You get that, and I'm sure you get that question too, or you get who's your favorite, or who was the best one, or whatnot, and all those sorts of, who's the most famous person you ever met. You get that. I get that a lot, and it's really hard for me to answer. But the one I'm the most excited for, it was Brandon and I had lunch about, I don't know, 2 months ago, maybe a month ago. I can't remember. And we sat down and I said, "You son of a gun, I can't believe you got," and I don't think I called him an actual son of a gun. It was something worse. "You got Terry Kaiser." Terry Kaiser was one of my favorite character actors from the 80s. And I know you've got him because he's in Friday the 13th Part 7, but he's Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. And I know him from he was in a Golden Girls episode that I know. He plays, by the way, a Beatle impersonator. Ringo. Oh. He plays a Ringo Beatle impersonator, and he goes to bed with Dorothy.
Very cool.
Yeah, for the weekend. They have a sex fest for the weekend. Anyway, moving right along. Terry Kaiser is one of my favorite character actors. Chad, do you know him from anything else? He also, I think he's in what's it? Is it that Blake Edwards film? I think it's 10. I think he's the horny next door neighbor.
Yeah, I know he played H.G. Wells in an episode of Superman.
Of Superman? With Superman?
The Dean Cain.
Oh, the Adventures of Superman, Lois and Superman, or whatever.
Yeah. I am trying to think. When you catch me off guard, my brain just shuts down.
Well, I wanted to make sure that we talked about not that I'm not excited, but I've met Kane. We spent time with Kane. I'm always curious of who, and Wes Forsyth has said this, who in the tri-state area does not have.
Oh my God, he was he played a reporter Al Craven in 4 episodes of Night Court. Completely forgot about that part.
There you go, Night Court.
There you go.
Yeah, so he's one of my favorite character actors, but people who I'm excited about. Who are you excited about? Is there anyone?
Are you asking Chad or are you asking me?
No, fuck Chad. I love Chad, but yeah, you're the guest.
Yeah.
One.
Chad, she didn't answer quick enough. You answer. Sorry. You went out on me, huh? What did you say?
I said, who's Chad excited about?
Well, I would be excited about Lance Hendrickson, but I'm also really excited about Michael Nunez.
No,
Miguel Nunez from Return of the Living Dead, because he's played a lot of cool roles, especially in the 80s and 90s.
Well, he was in that. What's the basketball movie?
Juwanna Mann.
Juwanna Mann, isn't he Juwanna Mann?
I want to say yes, he was. I do.
If only there was a system or some sort of thing that we could use to look this shit up. And
what do you think I'm doing?
That was right at the tip of your fingers, and you could just type. I like the way your fingers there.
No, he played DJ in the Street Fighter movie. I would love to hear stories about how crazy it was to work on that movie.
That's not bad. I wouldn't mind asking him.
He was in Lethal Weapon 3. Oh my God, he was in Harlem Nights.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies. He's been in a bunch. I don't think he was the character. I'm okay. Yeah, he was Juwanna Mann. Sorry.
So I'm going to bring up, while she's thinking of an answer, I know who you really wanted and just doesn't seem to. If only we could have finished out that Return of the Living Dead cast with Jewel. I'm getting a look. She told me,
Yeah.
would you once again are cutting out? What did you say?
That would have been great, wouldn't it?
Joel Shepherd. It would have been fantastic, wouldn't it? I'm sorry, I'm just messing with you, Adrienne. I love you.
Love you too. I would like to talk about something that I noticed the other day when I was going through
Yeah.
so I have a spreadsheet that is
Uh-huh.
like the Bible. And I've got all of these tabs and everything in Scarefest that runs at the show is like in this document. And I was going through our guest list the other day and I noticed something pretty funny that no one else has brought to my attention.
What?
Michael Kenworthy, Michael St. Michael's, Michael
Berryman?
John Philbin, Jonathan Breck,
Uh-huh.
on
Is she cutting out?
no, I'm just trying to make a point. Robert Englund, Robert Patrick, Rob Mello, Michael, Mike,
Yeah.
Jonathan. John.
Yeah.
If you go to our guest list, it is so many repeats of the same names over and over again.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, and if you went, I didn't realize that the Boneheads were the huge guests this year, but fine.
Oh my God. I forgot. I said Miguel Nunez and Lance Hendrickson. I forgot the other one I'm really excited about. Lloyd Kaufman makes his return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would legitimately like to just have a conversation with that man. He is so fascinating.
You know what? And I don't know, I can't put him on the spot or anything, but I am wondering for the Bonehead Live, if you all intend to have a guest from our show on Bonehead Live with you.
Well, we would love to have a guest from Bonehead Live with us. Now, it depends on. Now, there is one particular, before you start talking about it, there's one particular guest who's there this year that is very close to the Boneheads, and he was there last year. And
Nick.
I hope to God that he's there for the rest of his life and my life and all of our lives. I'm hope. Yes, Mick Strawn. Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, fuck him. So can I talk some shit about Mick behind his back?
I mean, I'll tell him about it, but
No, that's an
option. He's listening.
I'll share the episode with him. We love Mick, and you know that we love Mick because we actually mentioned Mick's name. People we don't like, we rarely talk about. So Mick's wonderful. We know Mick gets per diem. That son of a bitch I had to buy his dinner last year. I'm still bitching about it.
Did you have to?
No, I wanted to. I love him.
By the way, Bonehead listeners, James Thomas has returned.
James is finally returned.
I didn't go anywhere. I've been here. It's just that I didn't connect. I had stuff.
So, Adrienne, back to Bonehead Live. So we will be doing Bonehead Live. Do you want to talk about that for a second? Because we'd love to hear, because we don't have a time or a date or a place, and we actually promoted the hell out of Scarefest at a other show.
Mm-hmm.
Chad told everyone we're going to be doing Scarefest Live.
Uh-oh,
that's okay. You're still there. Oh, there she is.
You trying to karate chop her phone is what she was doing there. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
So I guess honestly, with Bonehead Live,
Yeah,
Brandon had mentioned it a while back.
Yeah,
and I assumed it was something that had been set up, like when you all had lunch without me about that time. No,
I'll take you. I know. I may have asked him then. I don't remember. Well, he mentioned it months ago, and then because I hadn't asked him, and I don't know. We had it in a conversation. I may have dropped a hint, but I don't remember dropping a hint. I think it was more actual, just a conversation about. We did a live show from Comic-Con, Lexington, and he was there. He was nice enough to show up. And just doing one from Scarefest, and I honestly do think the attendance for Scarefest would be better for the Boneheads for the live show than it would be Comic-Con.
I mean, honestly, I've got a few options that we can do, and it just kind of depends on how you all wanted it set up. If it was something, are you wanting an audience for this, or you want like a live audience there with you of people?
Sure. We'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of comes down to my schedule is full. I'm gonna have to kick somebody off to put you all on here. So I need to know, what you want to do, when you want to do it.
What do you mean you have to kick somebody off that your schedule is full? We've been talking about this for weeks.
Yeah, weeks, but the schedule was done like a month ago because
I still don't have a schedule
on it. Yeah.
Well, you let us know what time we'll be doing it so we can go ahead and start publicizing that.
Yeah.
So you were talking about a guest for the Boneheads?
Yeah. Specifically, but back to my point earlier. Listen to this. So we've got Dave Schrader, Dave Sheridan, Dave Tango.
Yeah.
Got John Kassir, John Philbin, Jonathan Breck, Kevin O'Brien, Kevin Spiritus. We've got Michael Berryman, Michael Kenworthy, Michael St. Michael's, Rob Mello, Robert Englund, Robert Patrick. And yeah, we have like so many repeating names, and I'm getting confused about things. And I'm just like, man, we're going to have to like come up with code names for people. But yeah, well, you all were talking about how much you loved Lloyd, and I'm going to be sending Lloyd a message of some of the things that are happening at the event that he could be involved with. And if you are wanting to have a guest,
we would love it.
Then I could definitely mention that as something, for him to do.
We would love it. We would love to have Lloyd Kaufman. I'm pretty sure Chad's head would explode.
Awesome. Well, I'll ask.
Chad?
No harm.
Oh, yeah. Toxic Avenger, Sergeant Kabuki Man. Some of the classics.
Chad, would your head explode if you were on the stage with him?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it'd be.
I would love to hear him shooting. He a lot lesser known fact about Lloyd Kaufman is Troma shot Rocky.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like
they filmed it. All the scenes, all the famous scenes of him running, going up the stairs, all Troma.
Stop.
No, Rocky's a low budget movie. It's directed by George G. Alvinson, but I mean, a lot of the shots in Rocky, specifically through the streets of Philadelphia, were stolen. They never have permits for any of that.
Yeah, and they went to Lloyd and his partner from Troma because they knew how to do that.
Yeah.
Really?
Now we could take Lloyd down further on an interview than anybody else.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It might be kind of cliche, I guess, because of my name, but my Rocky, specifically the first one, I love all of them, but it is like my top 5 favorite movies of all time. And like I've got Rocky magnets on my fridge. I've got a banner for the door in my office that's Rocky. I got to meet Carl Weathers back in May, and talk about fangirling. I've been doing Scarefest for almost half of my life now, and I've never been nervous to meet someone before. And when I got to meet Carl Weathers, I was giddy about it. I was like, I'm Adrienne, and he Adrienne me. And it was probably one of the only times in my life when I wasn't just like,
I've never even thought about doing that to you. I have no idea why I've never done that low-hanging fruit joke, but I never have. I don't know why this is never good, because we're all 3 of the Boneheads are huge Rocky fans. James may be the top because James loves boxing. Chad loves boxing.
Really?
I love boxing too. Yeah, Rocky. I love Rocky 3.
We love Rocky.
Oh, Rocky 3, definitely like it. Rocky 1, just because it's the first one that I watched, and it's the first one, and it's just, I love it so much. But Rocky 3 is like, and I listen to the soundtrack of the Rocky movies all the time. No Easy Way Out is like one of my favorite songs ever. And actually, so a lot of people love the Trans Am, like the black Trans Am with the gold hood because of Smokey and the Bandit. No, Rocky.
Look, James, we found you a friend.
No, the Rocky movies are great. And what's great about the Rocky movies is they represent the time that they were made so well. Like Rocky 4 is just, it's phenomenal. 14 flashbacks 14 montages doesn't matter, but it totally sums up. Like, we now need a new Rocky to deal with what's going on with Russia right now.
That's
right.
If I can change, and you can, okay, anyway.
He'll start quoting it. Well, it was
It's
go ahead.
versus man against man. Yeah.
And by the way, I also my favorite Rocky films are Rocky, and then skip all of them to Rocky Balboa. And I actually like Creed a lot as well.
I haven't seen the second Creed. That came out
Not as good. Not as good.
Not as good.
Not as
Gotcha.
good. But it's not bad.
It's the
It's a Rocky
second
movie.
best Rocky film with Drago in it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's saying something, because
Yeah.
let's face it, Drago, what a phenomenal character.
Yeah.
If he dies, he
If he
dies.
dies.
So anyway, back to Bonehead Live. Whenever you want to do it, you let me know when we'll do it. Yes, and we would love a guest. And if you can't, we completely understand.
Well, the main thing with scheduling was, the entertainment schedule got kind of wonky this year because of the layout that we did with the floor. And
by the way, there's no way we fit into that schedule. Is there another schedule? Because entertainment schedule doesn't really pertain to.
Do you have the boring ass fat guy schedule? we could probably, I could do that one.
I see what you're saying. No, you all are going on the entertainment schedule, because at least if they're not going to laugh with you, they can laugh at you.
That's fine, as long as they laugh.
It'll be high school all over again.
Fellers, as long as they laugh, right?
Yeah, I mean.
But
we're here to just do a show.
One of the things that, last year we had the new convention center, and we had all of this space to work with, and we did a layout, and we thought we had a good grasp on what we wanted this year. So we did the layout, and then we met with the center, and we had it all catted out, down to very precise measurements. And we were looking at it. We had a staff meeting, and Brandon hadn't slept, which, surprise, big news there. And in this sort of like sleep stupor, he has this idea about radically changing the floor plan. Now, normally, anytime Brandon wants to change something, I'm just like, stop, no, we've come this far, we can't do that. But when he said that, I stopped and I was like, wait a minute, this is a really good idea. We've got to make this happen. So it didn't happen exactly how we wanted it to, because we do have too many vendor booths. What we wanted to do was the convention center floor is 100,000 square feet, roughly, and it can be partitioned off with air walls into thirds. And so when you first walk in, the entrance of Scarefest last year, that was actually in C. So C, B, and A. And when you walk in the room, you can see up on the wall, it says C, B, A. So we wanted to take all of the vendor booths and put them in B and C, and then close off A specifically for entertainment, photo ops, concessions, everything go back in A. Unfortunately, we had too many booths, and they wouldn't have been able to close the air wall off to do that. But we did still make that big swap where we put the stages in the back of the hall, all of the vendors in the front. And when we did that, we broke away our main entertainment stage from our individual performers. The aerialist act that we had last year, we're bringing in an illusionist this year, and we're bringing Circus Envy back. And so those folks will still be up front. And so we had to completely revamp the schedule. So that being said, if we were to put you all on the main entertainment stage, like where you host the panels, then one option, and the other option would be to set you up at the front of the con or in the spine somewhere, like that. But
whatever you want.
We'll talk about it more. Let's try to get that set in stone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to wait any. Yeah. Call me. So let's actually talk about some of the stuff that's going to happen at Scarefest besides Bonehead Weekly.
I've been trying. I've talked to you about the artists the whole time. What else do you want to plug before you get out of here? All I've been talking about with you is Rocky and your lack of Rocky. I won't get into the pre-show stuff and all the guests. So what are the other cool things that we've got this year? Because I know you got to wrap up and leave in a few minutes.
Yeah. So we just added a new event this week. We are going to be doing a kickoff event on Thursday, which is going to be a bourbon tasting event.
Ooh.
In R.A. Mahaloff, Steve, and it's going to be really limited, though. The tour group can't be any bigger, I think, than 30 people, but they go in and they pull barrels and they let you sample. I think it's like a quarter of an ounce. They do a pour and they explain the process and let you do a tasting out of 4 different barrels, I think. And then there will be like a cocktail hour afterwards where you can actually go to the bar and purchase beverages that they have distilled, but you can also do like mixed drinks and stuff there as well. So that's very exciting. And it's like a half a mile from the convention center. That event should be wrapped up by about 7 o'clock. And then we're going to be doing trivia at Lex Live, which it's a 1-minute drive from the distillery to Lex Live. And then the trivia, we have cash prizes for trivia. That's 7 o'clock on Thursday at Lex Live. $200 for the winning trivia team, which, you know, I think you all are probably pretty well versed in some trivia, so maybe make you a bonehead team.
I could kick Jake's ass.
Oh,
You've seen I don't know if you've seen any of the comments because he was talking smack. I was like, yeah, buddy, I wasn't there last year.
And then we're also
he wanted me to be on his team.
Oh yeah. I would say it'd probably be a pretty cool thing to recruit. I can't remember the team size, how big the teams can be. I'd have to
fat.
I think it is by number of people, not by overall weight.
But that's a good thing, because if it was weight, we'd win that too.
So we're also doing a prize for best team name, and that's a $60 prize. So that's the kickoff. And then, of course, Friday we'll be having the black carpet event. Friday night we're going to be doing battle axes. We've got 5 teams right now for battle axes: Kane, R.A., Tom Matthews, Steve Nappy, and Rob Mello. And then on Saturday night at Lex during our what's that, James?
I was gonna say, so with the battle axes, how are you getting all our mother-in-laws to show up?
Oh,
sorry, I'll pay for that later. Nobody listens to this.
Your
show.
mother-in-law doesn't listen to this show.
This will be the first episode she tunes into. I'm kidding. It's a joke. Don't make your daughter divorce me.
And battle axes, and then bowling on Saturday night, and that will be starting at 9 o'clock, I believe. I'll have to double check the time on that, but that was Scream Queen bowling last year. We have changed that to Slime Ball Bowlerama.
Yeah.
Team is sold out, but we still have Linnea and Brian Bremer just got added to that yesterday, and I'm waiting on an okay from one more person, maybe 2, for that event. We also have Friday night, we have Scarioki going on. That's a free event at Lex Live after the con. And we have made some pretty big changes to Saturday after hours. We had been doing the VIP party,
which is what I wanted to hear about.
Right? So we've split this up a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to take over Lex Live. We're going to take over the big room at Lex Live. DJ Trey is going to be set up over there. We're going to have our costume contest finalists there, which is a $500 cash prize for the costume contest winner. And also we're going to have a performance from Aiden Fisher. And Aiden, if any of you all ever watched the Steel Panther video where they bring an 11-year-old kid onto stage and he shreds guitar.
Yeah.
That video was about 8 years ago, and Aiden was just recently the body double for the character of Eddie Munson in Stranger Things 4, where he shreds master puppets.
Yeah.
So Aiden will be performing at the party, which is free to all ticket holders and the public. So anybody can come to the Halloween party. You don't even have to come to Scarefest to come to the party. The VIP lounge will be in the place the party was last year, which is the corner bar. There won't be any entertainment in there, but there will be a private bar. We're going to have some light refreshments in there, and that will be from 8 to 10. So you can go in, you can grab a drink, And then the festivities in the main area start at 9 o'clock. So if you want a little bit of a quieter atmosphere for a bit, then, and you're a VIP ticket holder, then the Bourbon Lounge is where you want to be. But everybody can go to the main party in Lex Live. That's going to have the really cool entertainment. Another thing I want to talk about before I've got to go is the parade. Last year, Lexington's Halloween parade and Thriller Dance was on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So the parade was immediately after our show, which was great. You know, people could go to the show and then they could go over there, but we really couldn't promote Scarefest because it's like, hey, we'll be here same time next year, but you just missed us.
Yeah.
So Lexington actually changed the parade from Sunday to Saturday.
That's awesome.
Now, it is awesome. It will present some logistical issues that we're going to let people know about as far as the parade starts at 7. They're going to shut down Main Street, but it shouldn't be too impactful on the center, because if you utilize the main parking area right across from the center, you can pull out of the parking lot, go right down High Street, totally circumventing downtown, and you won't really get that traffic snag. But what that is going to do for us is Parks and Rec has already built a Stranger Things float, and they want Aiden to play Master of Puppets on the float.
That's
while
awesome.
it goes. Yes. So he'll be in a Hellfire Club shirt. You know, he won't be totally Eddie Munson up, but he will be, you know, playing.
He'll be dressed like Eddie Munster.
Munster. I'll ask him. I'll put that request in. I'll say Chad asked.
Tell him who Chad is.
And that's another thing, you know, I don't know if you all, you know, what you all do with your guests, if it's just, you know, for actors and things of that nature. But, you know, Aiden also has talked about wanting to be involved with doing promotion and media shows and stuff like that. So
just give him my number.
Yeah, absolutely. So the parade, that's great. We're going to have a good presence down there. Our cosplayers, our costume contest contestants, it's hard to say, costume contest contestants, will also be invited to go and walk in the parade, and we'll be down there letting the 8,000 to 10,000 expected in attendance know about Scarefest Kids Day on Sunday, the following day. So we're really excited for the community to kind of get into that new crowd. The film festival is going to be coming back this year, and we've already picked all of our winners for that. We will be announcing that schedule soon. That is free for anyone that comes to Scarefest. You can go over to Lex Live and catch any of the films that have been selected for the film festival. The other big change for Saturday is, instead of having the drag show at Lex Live, we are going to have the drag show on the main entertainment stage at Scarefest starting at 7 o'clock. So the show's over at 8. The drag show is going to start at 7, and it's going to go until 9. So what we're going to do is, the way that the floor plan is laid out, the entertainment stage is in the back corner. We have an air wall out partially, and then we will have a long row of pipe and drape that's going to be set up to separate entertainment area from the vendor hall. So the vendors don't have to stick with their booths until 9 o'clock. We'll have security set up back there, and that way people can just go right into the drag show. And then if they want to go and grab dinner, go over to Lex Live. It should be a really great breakdown of the way that everything is going to go. The other thing that I wanted to touch on is our Hero Day. We do have free admission for any first responders, firefighters, EMT, police, nurses, military, veterans, active. As long as you bring your ID with you and you would classify as a first responder, then you get in for free on Friday. And then Kids Day, we have a lot of things set up for the kids specifically to do. We're going to have a kids scream contest, which I'm sure all parents think that their kid has the best set of lungs out there. So you can come and put that to the test. We've got some great prizes for the scream contest, the costume contest that's just for children. And then we all, sorry.
Okay.
Again. We also do trick or treat for the kids. So all of our vendors, before they come show, we let them know if they want to participate in trick or treat to bring some candy. We'll give them a red balloon to tie up at their booth, and the kids can go around. When they come in, we'll give them a goodie bag, and then they can use that bag to go around and trick or treat at the different booths.
And by the way, another reason to come to Scarefest, to watch James Thomas here go into the event and start yelling at the Jeepers Creepers truck.
I'm just saying, he has to go to the DMV to get a tag. Can you imagine? Because he's got that specialized tag. He's got to go, Chad. So he's got to wait. He's awake, what, 2 days, 48 hours every 27 years? You know he spends 2 hours of that in line getting his tag renewed.
Absolutely.
3 days, all day, that.
Not to change the subject.
It doesn't make sense. I'm fine with the flying demon creature. That's fine. And if he flies, why does he need the truck? That's wasteful. Wasteful, Chad.
Real quick, another plug for Family Day. My kid went down last year. He did the costume contest. He came in 3rd place.
Yes, he did.
I know. It made my day. He still has the trophy. He's already started to talk about his costume for this year. He wants to do a zombie Morbius. That's a whole other kettle of fish, because that's a lot of stuff for a 5-year-old. And I don't know why he even knows what Morbius is, because I haven't showed him Morbius. I have not showed him that.
That makes no sense. Morbius is a vampire.
Vampire Morbius zombie. It doesn't make it makes complete sense. He's 5. Zombie Morbius.
Throw that kid in the closet and tell him to get his logic together.
Well, I threw him, and that's how I raised him.
Wait, wasn't Last Man on Earth vampire zombies?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I Am Legend. So he had a blast. He's already been talking about his costume, or what he wants to do for the cosplay contest. It's a good time for kids, and he liked the trick or treat as well.
I was going to say, and my kids are older now, but yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, James agrees with me. I Am Legend. Hack writing.
I will destroy everything. But now, are you talking about the movie?
Everything.
The movie, yes. The book, no.
He hates the book.
Chad, you're getting ready to replace that Jeepers Creepers truck.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something funny about I Am Legend. I can't remember where I saw this. I think I bought the DVD and I was watching it at home, and the ending happened. And I was so perplexed. I couldn't understand what I was watching, because I distinctly remember the movie ending a different way. And I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, there's no way I dreamed this. This isn't right. Is this some sort of Mandela effect or something? And anyway, it turns out there are 2 endings to that movie. And wherever I saw the movie originally was a different ending than the DVD that I'd purchased. Do you know how bad that messed my head up?
Well, James saw the original the Will Smith movie. We sit down, we watched it. Afterwards, a tear fell down his eye, and he said, "That's exactly how Richard Matheson would have liked to have seen it."
So, done. Adrienne, I love you, but I know that I don't know if you know that it's based on a famous novel, that actually the Will Smith version's the 3rd version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to mansplain. I just didn't know if you knew all that. So this is going to be a huge argument now between the Boneheads.
Hold on, can I quickly tell Chad something? Let me Chad-splain it, Chad. Hey, Chad.
Yo.
Mansplaining is when a man explains something.
Hey, you stole my joke.
Sorry.
It doesn't excuse the fact of how much you hate Richard Matheson and how you just want to see all of his books burned.
Let me get Joe going. He's not quite the writer his son is.
Joe, those small bottles of Cracker Barrel syrup that you're drinking there?
Yeah, I'm not that fat. But that's funny.
No, he's using big bottles for that.
I was wondering why. I haven't had a drink all day. I haven't had a drink this week. This is single malt sherry cask finish. Actually, it's really good. My boss brings it sometimes, some stuff from Ireland. So it's I try not to drink it too much, but I was sitting here and it looked just so tasty. I thought I'd have a sip.
Drinking syrup. You all ever watch the Super Troopers?
Yes. It's way better than Police Academy.
You started another fight, Adrienne. You didn't even know it. You didn't even know
it. Love that movie. Love it.
I am not a fan.
What?
No.
He hates all things, including America.
He's dead inside.
It's not funny. Chad, you're not crazy about it either.
I like first one. I like the first one, but I agree with you. It's no Police Academy 5 assignment Miami Beach.
Oh
no,
my
that is
God.
no, and very few things are Police Academy 5 assignment Miami Beach.
Joe is the only one of us here that could ask if anyone wants a mustache ride. This is such an injustice. But what I was going to say,
I was about to offer all three of you.
in the movie, they're drinking syrup, and they couldn't get anything the correct viscosity of syrup besides syrup, so they actually are chugging syrup in that scene.
Oh, I didn't know that. You taught me something.
Yeah, like I watched that scene and I knew that story because I watched it before the movie came out when they were doing promos for it and stuff. They said that is actual syrup, and I'm like, how did they not walk away diabetic?
And by the way, I don't know where Joe got that. I don't know how you can't watch the scene where he gets shot in the balls and Brian, what's his name?
Cranston.
No. Brian Cox comes up and goes, "You're a sick motherfucker, Mac." It still makes me laugh.
No.
No,
the movie's not funny.
Brian Cox makes that movie 10 times better. When he gets mad, he goes, "Just give it to me," and he bites the bar of soap. It's just great.
I've got to watch it again because I have
you don't
on this movie for years.
You know what? I think the reason the second one loses a lot of the charm of the first one because it doesn't go into the Johnny Chimpo stuff. It doesn't do. It loses. It lost.
This is where I'll agree with Joe. James is not funny, but
what
part
either.
Well, I said it lost a lot of what made the first one work.
We told her we would keep her for 30 minutes. It's been an hour.
Sorry, Adrienne.
And 40 minutes of that was me going, so what do we do at Bonehead Weekly Live?
Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. Sorry, Adrienne. How's that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Adrienne,
matter of fact, just to go ahead and expect to hear from Sylvester Stallone's attorneys.
Adrienne, I need you to know that
they're busy with the divorce.
Oh,
I've got to wrap her. All right, so I just want to wrap you up in kisses. So anyway,
wiki yo babe. Oh, what's our wrap?
I want to wrap up and say thank you so much. We love doing Scarefest. We love being part of the Scarefest family. Scarefest gave me my start of getting on the stage and being an idiot, and I'll always be thankful for that.
It's unique that he got to be on a stage doing one. He's been an idiot just forever.
That's what's unique about the whole scenario. Is mainly I just did it on the streets.
Oh,
it's nice to have an audience that isn't the police.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Is always appreciate you coming on the show. You're much better than Brandon. I don't know. Is there a way you can insult Brandon one more time? You insulted him last year. Can you insult him again, Chad?
Nope.
Is dumbass 1870? Oh, look at me, and I run. I'm serving soda pop in an old thing mustache thing he's got going on. Bartender. I couldn't get it all out.
All right, come on.
I'm giving Brandon shit about his mustache that kind of twirls the thing at the end.
It does. You know, Brandon always his hairstyle is always changing. Sometimes it's like mad scientist, which, oh my God, did you all see the renderings that Terrence Muncie did for us? There's so many things I didn't talk about because you were distracting me. We're going to have a trading card.
Next time I'll try to keep my shirt on.
Yes, please. Trading card scavenger hunt at Scarefest this year. If you collect all of the cards that we're going to be hiding all over the show, you get a special Scarefest poster. Some of them only I will have. Some of them only Brandon will have, and some of them only Nicole will have. But when he did the renderings of us, he made me super hot. He made Brandon a mad scientist, and I did not tell him to do that. But that is always what Brandon reminds me of, with his crazy spiky hair and just his obscure references all the time. That's it, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw them on Facebook, and they look really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
totally.
I'm gonna back. And my excuse for wearing a fanny pack to Scarefest this year is I have to have somewhere to keep my trading cards.
And drugs.
And drugs.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It has been a hoot and or a holler. Please go to Scarefest October 21st through the 23rd.
Yes. Scarefestweekend.com to get your tickets. Photo ops are on sale, and they are
And they're going quick, and 4 people. There will be panels. I'm assuming I still will be doing panels. We are doing panels, right?
At least one. And honestly, the only reason
shit, I am fired.
the reason that we still do panels is Joe Lewis, because I will give you all a little hot take. I hate panels. I never ever want panels to happen because they interfere with my part of the show, which is getting the celebrities there, making them available for people, making sure they're doing everything and as accessible as possible, and taking them off of the con floor to go and answer a bunch of questions is not something that I ever want to do. The only reason that we do this is because I love Joe Lewis.
No, it can't be just me. Most conventions still have panels. The Horror Helm, no, but there's still panels out there.
Most places do panels, yeah. And Brandon is on the team for having panels. Adrienne is strictly against having panels at the show, which is why we are going to be looking at doing things a little bit differently this year, which is why you haven't gotten a panel schedule.
Well, and I love you. Just let me know when I'll be doing. Hopefully, I'll still get a ticket.
For Monday.
You suck. All right, sweetie. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop recording.